Here are 15 foods that helped black women stay healthy and fit in the 1960s, before meal replacement shakes, calorie counting apps, and diet industry promises. Black women in the 1960s maintained healthy bodies through food that nourished rather than starved, satisfied rather than restricted, and connected them to generations of wisdom about what the body actually needed. These weren't trendy superfoods or expensive organic products. They were everyday ingredients prepared with knowledge passed down from mothers and grandmothers who understood that real food kept you strong, energized, and fit without pills, powders, or programs. But as processed convenience foods flooded black communities and traditional cooking knowledge faded, these nourishing staples disappeared from regular diets, replaced by products designed in laboratories rather than kitchens. Here are 20 foods that black women ate regularly in the 1960s that kept them naturally healthy, lean, and strong. Foods that modern nutrition science is only now rediscovering as genuinely beneficial. 1. Collard greens, cooked low and slow. Collard greens appeared on black women's tables multiple times weekly throughout the 1960s, and these dark leafy vegetables delivered nutrition that kept bodies functioning optimally. Grandmothers would cook them low and slow for hours with smoked turkey necks or ham hocks, creating tender greens in flavorful pot liquor that was consumed as much as the greens themselves. The cooking method broke down tough fibers while preserving nutrients that modern quick cooking methods destroy. Collards provided iron that prevented anemia, calcium that built strong bones, fiber that maintained healthy digestion, and vitamins that supported immune function. Black women who ate greens regularly rarely struggled with constipation, maintained healthy blood pressure, and had energy that lasted throughout long work days. The greens were filling without being heavy, satisfying without excess calories, and provided bulk that prevented overeating at meals. Pot liquor, the vitamin-rich broth left after cooking, was consumed with cornbread or sipped alone, delivering concentrated nutrients. These greens weren't side dishes. They were nutritional powerhouses that formed the foundation of healthy eating. Modern nutrition science confirms what grandmothers knew. Dark leafy greens are among the most nutrient-dense foods available, but the slow-cooked preparation that maximized their benefits has been largely abandoned for convenience. 2. Dried beans and peas cooked from scratch. Black-eyed peas, pinto beans, lima beans, and navy beans were kitchen staples that black women cooked from dried form multiple times weekly, creating protein-rich meals that kept bodies satisfied and energized without meat-heavy expense. Beans required overnight soaking and hours of slow cooking, but the result was fiber-dense, protein-packed food that stabilized blood sugar, maintained steady energy, and provided nutrition that prevented afternoon crashes and constant hunger. Women who ate beans regularly maintained healthy weights effortlessly because beans filled you up, stayed with you for hours, and prevented the snacking and cravings that processed foods create. The fiber content supported digestive health and maintained regular elimination that kept bodies functioning cleanly. Beans provided plant-based protein that built and maintained muscle without the saturated fat load of meat-heavy diets. Served over rice or with cornbread, beans created complete protein combinations that sustained physical labor and active lifestyles. These weren't bland diet foods. They were seasoned with onions, garlic, and spices, creating satisfying meals that nobody felt deprived eating. Modern research confirms that bean-rich diets support healthy weight, stable blood sugar, and reduced disease risk. But the slow-cooked preparation from dried beans has been replaced by canned convenience that lacks the same nutritional impact and fiber content. 3. Fresh buttermilk consumed daily. Real buttermilk, not the cultured product sold today, but actual leftover liquid from butter churning, was consumed regularly by black women who understood its digestive and nutritional benefits. Buttermilk provided probiotics before that word existed, supporting gut health that modern science now recognizes as central to overall wellness. Women drank buttermilk straight, used it in cornbread and biscuits, and consumed it with meals to aid digestion of heavier foods. The tangy liquid was low in fat, high in protein, and provided calcium without the heaviness of whole milk. Buttermilk drinkers maintained healthy digestion, regular elimination, and rarely experienced the bloating and digestive issues common today. The probiotics supported immune function, reduced inflammation, and maintained gut health that influenced everything from mood to metabolism. Women who drank buttermilk regularly reported sustained energy, clear skin, and strong nails, external signs of internal health. The drink was filling enough to satisfy between meals without adding significant calories, preventing constant snacking. Real buttermilk has virtually disappeared, replaced by cultured versions that lack the same probiotic diversity and nutritional profile that made the original so beneficial to health and weight management. 4. Oatmeal cooked with nothing but water and salt. Breakfast for many black women in the 1960s meant a bowl of plain oatmeal cooked slowly on the stovetop with only water and salt, creating filling, fiber-rich fuel that sustained them through morning labor without blood sugar crashes. This wasn't instant oatmeal loaded with sugar and artificial flavors. It was steel-cut or rolled oats cooked until creamy and thick, eaten plain or with minimal additions like butter or a small amount of sugar. The slow-cooked oats provided sustained energy that lasted hours, preventing mid-morning hunger and the need for constant snacking. The fiber kept digestion regular and blood sugar stable, avoiding the spikes and crashes that create cravings and fatigue. Women who ate oatmeal for breakfast maintained healthy weights because the meal satisfied deeply without excessive calories, set up stable blood sugar for the day, and prevented overeating at lunch. The simplicity meant no hidden sugars, no processed ingredients, just whole-grain nutrition that bodies recognized and used efficiently. Oatmeal eaters reported better focus, sustained energy for physical work, and less afternoon fatigue. Modern instant oatmeal loaded with sugar and artificial flavors creates the opposite effect: quick energy followed by crashes and cravings that drive overeating throughout the day. Okra appeared regularly on black women's plates throughout summer and fall, prepared fried, stewed with tomatoes, or added to soups and gumbos, delivering fiber and nutrients that supported digestive health and maintained healthy weight. The vegetable's mucilaginous texture, often criticized today, actually supported gut health by coating and soothing digestive tracts while the fiber promoted regular elimination. Okra was low in calories but filling, providing bulk that satisfied without adding weight. Fried okra, while higher in fat, was consumed in reasonable portions as part of balanced meals rather than as constant snacks. Stewed okra with tomatoes created nutrient-dense dishes that filled plates and stomachs without excess calories. The vegetable provided vitamins C and K, folate, and antioxidants that supported overall health, while its fiber content prevented constipation and maintained digestive regularity. Women who ate okra regularly maintained healthy weights because the vegetable filled them up, supported clean digestion, and provided nutrients without caloric excess. Growing okra in backyard gardens meant fresh summer supplies that cost nothing but provided genuine nutrition. The vegetable has fallen from favor as texture preferences changed and knowledge of its health benefits faded, but nutritionists now recognize okra as a powerhouse vegetable deserving regular inclusion in healthy diets. 6. Sweet potatoes baked or boiled, rarely candied. Sweet potatoes were kitchen staples eaten regularly by black women, but in the 1960s they were typically baked or boiled plain rather than turned into candy-like casseroles loaded with sugar and marshmallows. A baked sweet potato eaten with just butter and salt provided complex carbohydrates that sustained energy, fiber that maintained digestive health, and vitamins that supported immune function and vision. The natural sweetness satisfied without added sugar, and the fiber content prevented blood sugar spikes that create cravings and energy crashes. Women who ate plain sweet potatoes regularly maintained stable weight because the food was filling, nutritious, and satisfied naturally without triggering the overeating that sugary preparations create. Sweet potatoes were breakfast food, side dishes, and sometimes entire meals when money was tight, providing affordable nutrition that kept bodies strong and satisfied. The beta-carotene supported healthy skin and vision, while the fiber promoted digestive regularity. Eating sweet potatoes plain meant experiencing their actual flavor and nutritional value rather than masking them in sugar. Modern preparations that turn sweet potatoes into dessert-like dishes eliminate their health benefits and transform them into calorie-dense indulgences that contribute to weight gain rather than health maintenance. 7. Fresh fish caught locally and fried or baked. Black women living near water sources consumed fresh-caught fish regularly, catfish, perch, whiting, or whatever local waters provided, preparing it simply fried or baked and eating it with vegetables and cornbread. Fish provided lean protein that built and maintained muscle without the saturated fat load of red meat-heavy diets. The omega-3 fatty acids supported heart health, reduced inflammation, and maintained brain function that kept thinking clear and mood stable. Women who ate fish regularly maintained healthy weights because the protein satisfied deeply without excessive calories, and the healthy fats supported metabolic function rather than storage. Friday fish fries became tradition partly because fish was affordable protein that fed families well, but the health benefits were real even if not consciously recognized. Fresh fish prepared simply provided clean protein without the heavy sauces and preparations that add unnecessary calories. The ritual of eating fish weekly meant regular intake of nutrients that supported overall health and maintained lean body composition. As fresh fish became less accessible and fried fast food fish replaced home preparation, the health benefits diminished while calorie density increased, transforming fish from health food to indulgence. 8. Homegrown tomatoes, eaten fresh all summer. Summer meant fresh tomatoes from backyard gardens appeared at every meal, sliced and salted, added to salads, or eaten like apples while still warm from the vine. These weren't the pale, flavorless supermarket tomatoes bred for shelf life. They were heirloom varieties bursting with flavor, vitamins, and antioxidants that supported health at cellular levels. Tomatoes provided lycopene that protected against disease, vitamin C that supported immune function, and fiber that aided digestion, all while being extremely low in calories. Black women who ate fresh tomatoes daily throughout summer consumed produce at peak nutrition without any processing or added ingredients. The water content helped maintain hydration during hot months, while the fiber supported digestive regularity. Tomatoes satisfied as snacks without triggering blood sugar spikes or cravings for more food. Growing tomatoes at home meant free nutrition that kept bodies healthy and costs low. The act of growing, harvesting, and consuming fresh produce created connection to food that processed products can never replicate. As backyard gardens disappeared and supermarket tomatoes replaced homegrown varieties, the nutritional density decreased while convenience increased, trading genuine nutrition for year-round availability of inferior products. 9. Cornbread made with cornmeal, buttermilk, and minimal sugar. Cornbread appeared at nearly every meal in black households during the 1960s, but it wasn't cake-like or sweet like modern versions. It was made with stone-ground cornmeal, real buttermilk, eggs, and minimal sugar, baked in cast-iron skillets until crusty outside and tender inside. This cornbread provided complex carbohydrates that sustained energy, fiber that supported digestion, and satisfaction that prevented overeating. The cornmeal was whole grain, providing nutrients that refined products lack. Buttermilk added protein and probiotics that supported gut health. The portions were reasonable. A single piece served with greens and beans completed a balanced, filling meal that sustained through afternoon work without causing blood sugar crashes. Women who ate traditional cornbread regularly maintained healthy weights because the food satisfied genuinely without excess sugar, driving cravings for more. The fat content came from real ingredients, butter or bacon grease that bodies recognized and used rather than trans fats and hydrogenated oils that create metabolic problems. Cornbread served its purpose as satisfying accompaniment to vegetables and proteins rather than being dessert disguised as bread. Modern cornbread loaded with sugar transforms it from nourishing staple to calorie-dense treat that contributes to weight gain rather than sustained energy. Cabbage cooked until tender with simple seasonings. Cabbage was affordable, available year-round, and appeared regularly on black women's tables, cooked simply with onions, a bit of meat for flavoring, and basic seasonings. This cruciferous vegetable provided fiber that filled stomachs and maintained digestive regularity, vitamins that supported immune function, and compounds that modern science recognizes as cancer protective. Cabbage was extremely low in calories but high in volume, meaning you could eat until satisfied without consuming excess energy. Women who ate cabbage regularly maintained healthy weights effortlessly because the vegetable filled plates and stomachs without adding pounds. The fiber supported clean digestion and regular elimination that kept bodies functioning optimally. Cooked cabbage was easier to digest than raw, while retaining most nutrients, making it accessible to those with sensitive digestion. The vegetable cost pennies and stretched meals significantly, meaning families could eat until satisfied without budget concerns. Cabbage coleslaw provided raw vegetable nutrition when cabbage was shredded fresh and dressed simply. The versatility meant cabbage appeared in multiple forms throughout the week, providing consistent vegetable intake that supported overall health. As cabbage fell from favor in preference for trendier vegetables, consistent intake of this nutritional powerhouse decreased, eliminating regular exposure to its protective compounds and digestive benefits. Leaven, freshly churned butter used sparingly. Real butter churned from cream not manufactured in factories was used by black women in the 1960s, but sparingly rather than liberally. A small pat melted into greens, a thin spread on cornbread, or a tablespoon added to cooking provided rich flavor and fat-soluble vitamin absorption without excess. This butter contained conjugated linoleic acid, vitamin K2, and other nutrients that margarine and processed spreads lack entirely. The real fat provided satisfaction that prevented overeating and supported metabolic function rather than interfering with it. Women who used real butter in reasonable amounts maintained healthy weights because the fat satiated deeply, small amounts provided big flavor, and bodies recognized and properly metabolized real ingredients. The key was moderation born from cost. Butter was expensive, so it was treasured and used carefully rather than slathered mindlessly. A little butter enhanced vegetables, making them more palatable and encouraging consumption of nutritious foods. The fat helped absorb vitamins A, D, E, and K from vegetables, making meals more nutritious overall. As butter was demonized and replaced with margarine and vegetable spreads, health declined rather than improved, proving that real ingredients in moderation support health better than manufactured substitutes consumed liberally. Green beans appeared regularly throughout summer and fall, typically cooked low and slow with onions, new potatoes, and a bit of meat for flavoring. This preparation created complete, satisfying meals where vegetables took center stage and meat served as seasoning rather than main event. Green beans provided fiber, vitamins, and minerals while being extremely low in calories. The addition of potatoes added substance and complex carbohydrates that provided sustained energy. Women who ate green beans regularly consumed consistent vegetable nutrition that supported health without dietary extremes or restrictions. The cooking method made vegetables tender and flavorful, encouraging consumption of large portions that filled stomachs without excess calories. Families could eat until genuinely satisfied without weight gain because the meal's bulk came from vegetables rather than calorie-dense ingredients. Green beans supported digestive regularity, provided antioxidants, and delivered nutrients that bodies actually needed. The simple preparation meant no hidden sugars, no heavy sauces, just vegetables cooked to bring out their natural flavors. As fresh green beans gave way to canned versions and vegetables became afterthoughts rather than centerpieces, consumption decreased and health benefits were lost. 13. Whole chicken prepared multiple ways throughout the week. A whole chicken purchased on Saturday would provide multiple meals throughout the week as black women utilized every part: fried pieces for Sunday dinner, leftover meat for chicken salad, bone simmered for soup stock. This approach provided lean protein regularly, without waste or excess. Chicken prepared at home was skinned after cooking, reducing fat content significantly. The variety of preparations prevented monotony while ensuring consistent protein intake that supported muscle maintenance and metabolic function. Homemade chicken was seasoned simply, fried in controlled amounts of fat, or baked until tender, not breaded heavily or served with calorie-laden sauces. Women who prepared whole chickens this way maintained healthy weights because they controlled ingredients, consumed reasonable portions, and utilized food completely. The bone broth provided collagen and minerals that supported joint health, gut integrity, and skin quality. Eating chicken prepared simply meant consuming actual nutrition rather than fried coating and excess fat. The protein satisfied deeply, preventing constant snacking between meals. As whole chicken preparation gave way to pre-cut, pre-breaded convenience products, control over ingredients was lost, and calorie density increased dramatically. Summer tables regularly featured fresh cucumbers and onions sliced thin and marinated in vinegar with minimal sugar, creating refreshing, probiotic-rich side dishes that aided digestion and added virtually no calories to meals. The vinegar provided acetic acid that modern research shows supports blood sugar control and fat metabolism. Cucumbers delivered hydration, fiber, and nutrients with almost no caloric cost. The dish was crunchy, satisfying, and flavorful, encouraging consumption without contributing to weight gain. Women who ate cucumbers and onions regularly benefited from improved digestion, better blood sugar control, and increased vegetable intake without even trying. The preparation was simple, no cooking required, minimal ingredients needed, just fresh vegetables enhanced with vinegar. The probiotics from fermentation, when allowed to sit, supported gut health that influenced everything from immunity to mood. This side dish prevented overeating of calorie-dense foods by providing filling, flavorful bulk that satisfied the desire for something crunchy and fresh. The practice has largely disappeared, as fresh vegetable preparation became viewed as too time-consuming, eliminating regular intake of simple, beneficial foods that supported health effortlessly. Fresh greens from the garden, mustard, turnip, kale. Beyond collards, black women grew and consumed multiple varieties of leafy greens throughout growing seasons. Mustard greens, turnip greens, kale, rotating varieties to provide different nutrient profiles and flavors. These greens were picked fresh, cooked minimally to preserve nutrients, and eaten in large quantities that filled plates and stomachs without excess calories. The variety ensured diverse nutrient intake that supported health comprehensively rather than relying on single foods. Each green variety provided unique compounds. Mustard greens offered cancer-protective glucosinolates, turnip greens delivered calcium and folate, kale provided vitamins A and K.
Women who ate multiple green varieties regularly maintained healthy weights because their plates were dominated by extremely nutrient-dense, low-calorie foods that satisfied without overfeeding. The freshness meant peak nutrition and flavor that encouraged consumption. Growing greens at home ensured constant supply throughout seasons without cost. The variety prevented taste fatigue and encouraged consistent eating of vegetables that bodies genuinely needed. As backyard gardens disappeared and grocery store convenience replaced home growing, vegetable consumption decreased despite year-round availability, showing that accessibility alone doesn't ensure intake of health-supporting foods. These 20 foods weren't diet products or weight loss schemes. They were everyday ingredients that nourished bodies properly, kept women naturally lean and strong, and connected them to generations of wisdom about real food. Black women in the 1960s maintained healthy weights without counting calories, tracking macros or following programs because they ate real food prepared simply and consumed in reasonable portions. What kept them fit wasn't restriction or deprivation, but nourishment and satisfaction from ingredients that bodies recognized and used efficiently. The disappearance of these foods from regular diets, replaced by processed convenience products, diet industry promises, and disconnection from traditional food knowledge, has contributed to health struggles that weren't common when real food dominated plates. Which of these foods do you remember eating growing up? Share your memories in the comments, and subscribe to Golden Yesterdays to preserve this nutritional wisdom before it's completely forgotten.